Hi, I'm Rachel, and I've been asked about making something available online while so many people are in isolation and I miss teaching. So I've never done this before, but we're going to give it a go. Since not everybody has a lot of props available in their home, I'm trying to not overemphasize prop use, but if you do have a belt and a block, or something that you could use as a belt and a block at your home, you might want to have those handy. And it would be good to have a chair. It doesn't have to be a folding chair, any kind of dining room chair that you'd like. My dog Nellie just walked in the room and she might appear and make some cameos in our practice. So anyway, the practice I've created, I've gone for about 20 minutes. We'll see how that pans out. And the emphasis is on grounding, because I think a lot of us really need to just kind of ground into what this moment is. There's a lot of change going on right now, and we need to practice coming into the moment, grounding ourselves in time and space. So that's something that we're going to work on today. So we're going to start lying on our backs. Hey, sweetie. With our feet on the floor, shoulders on the floor. If you want to put something under your head, like a folded blanket, feel free to do that. Noticing your feet on the floor. Noticing all 10 of your toes. Noticing the backs of your scapula, your shoulder blades on the floor. Are you able to weight the scapula evenly, or do you tend to roll to one side or the other? As you inhale, can you feel the ribs moving down and towards the floor? And when you exhale, just let yourself feel a release from the muscular holding. Good. Now from here, just bring your right knee in towards your chest. Take a deep breath and we'll stretch up through the right leg. If you like to practice with a belt around your foot, you're welcome to. There's no need to. And if you want to, you could begin to move your foot. We have as many joints in our feet as our hands, but we don't tend to mobilize our feet as much. So just spreading your toes, flexing your foot. Good, and then stretch straight up through that right leg. And a lot of us tend to really support the leg with the arms in this position. And I want to encourage you to remember your legs carry you around all day. So your shoulders can really come down away from your ears, grounded to the floor, and push up strongly through that right leg. Good. Let the leg support itself. And then we'll go ahead and bring that right leg down. And then hug that left leg in towards your chest. Again, use the leg strength a lot, so don't over pull with the shoulders. Feel the strength of the leg supporting itself, supporting the weight of the bones. And then we're going to stretch up through that left leg. And again, move that foot around. pointing and flexing. Good. And dropping the shoulders and feeling the strength of the leg. Pushing up through that left heel and letting your upper body be really soft and your breath be deep, coming all the way down into your belly. Nice. And then we're going to bring the left leg down. We're going to do some leg lifts next, and I want us all to be really mindful of the low back. So if this feels problematic for the low back, don't do it. Or remember, you can always do it with a bent knee or not lower your leg quite as far. Hey, Nellie. Hey, girl. And so we're going to come into our leg lifts. You're going to hate this one. I like to practice them with my arms on the floor or else behind my head. A lot of people like to have a folded blanket behind their head here. I have my knees bent, feet on the floor, and then I'm stretching my right leg out. And you'll notice it's not all the way up towards the ceiling. My right thigh is parallel to my left. And now I'm going to work with the breath here. And when I inhale, I'm going to lower that leg towards the floor, trying to keep my low back very neutral. And when I exhale, I'm going to bring my right thigh back up to parallel with my left. And again, I'm keeping my low ribs drawing down towards my hips here. So I'm going to inhale, lower the leg down. Exhale, lift the leg up. Remember, if this feels hard on the low back, try doing it with a bent knee. Inhale, lower the leg down. Exhale, lift the leg up, and we're going to do 2 more. Inhale, lower the leg down, push out through that heel. Exhale, lift the leg up. Just 1 more. Inhale, lower the leg down. Exhale, lift that leg up and put that right foot down. Okay, check in with how that felt on your back. If it doesn't feel okay for your back, skip this one. Watch out, Nellie. I'm about to look. Yeah, there you go. Good girl. Now you'll see my left thigh is parallel to my right thigh. My foot is flexed and I'm using the strength of this leg. And I'm going to inhale and lower that leg. And I'm exhaling and lifting it up. And I'm inhaling and lowering that leg. And I'm exhaling and lifting it up. And I'm inhaling and lowering the leg. And I'm exhaling and lifting it up. And just 1 more. Inhaling, lowering the leg. Exhaling, lifting it up. We're going to do that once again on each side, this time with the variation that with the opposite leg, instead of being flat on the floor with my left foot, I'm going to lift my left leg up, have my left knee bent, my left knee above my left hip. Then I'm going to stretch that right leg out at an angle, a 45-degree angle. Now, if I don't like that, I'm going to put my foot back on the floor, right? And I'm going to lower that right leg. And then as I exhale, I'm going to lift it up. 2 more. Lowering that leg. And lift it up. And then lower that leg. And lift it up. And put those feet on the floor. Good. Same thing, same side. I'm lifting my right leg up, knee above the hip, and I'm again feeling the strength of that left leg. And I'm going to lower that left leg and lift the left leg up and lower that left leg. Exhale it back up And inhale down, feel the foot. Exhale it up. And just bring your knees into your chest. Oof, and roll them around a bit. Appreciate your dog. Okay, putting your feet on the floor. Let's roll to one side. And we're going to come into some cat-cow stretches. Hi, Nellie. So if you have issues with being on your hands in this position, make accommodations. Go ahead and go onto your knuckles or your forearms. We're going to do cat-cow first. So we're just going to inhale and lengthen the spine, drawing the shoulder blades back away from the ears. Exhale, draw the spine into a big cat arch. And then inhale and lengthen. And exhale and arch. And inhale and lengthen. Exhale and arch. And then tuck your toes under. And if it's comfortable for you to come into dog pose, do so. Remember, if it's pulling on your spine, bend your knees. Lift your heels way up off the floor. You don't have to have straight legs. Good, drawing the shoulder blades away from each other. Good. And then go ahead and either walk your hands back towards your feet or your feet forward towards your hands, bending your knees as you go. And then slowly straighten the legs any amount. You can always have your hands on a block here. Let your head let go. And then bending your knees, go ahead and make your way up to standing. And just stand here for a moment in Tadasana, pressing down through the feet, feeling the balls of the feet spreading wide apart, feeling all 10 toes on the floor. Okay, we're going to do some sequences with chair pose next. Chair pose is a really grounding pose. We feel the strength of our legs. So we're going to begin placing our feet hip width apart on the floor, pointing forward if possible. And you can have your hands in any position that's comfortable. Hands at the heart is pretty popular, also arms straight out in front of you. Whatever you like. What we're going to do is bend our knees and shift the hips back as we come into Utkatasana chair pose. Things to be aware of. When I look down, I like to be able to see my toes. If I was so far forward that I couldn't see my toes, I'd probably be hyperflexing my knees a fair amount, so I'd want to bring my hips back more. Another common thing to do in this position is to hinge forward at the ribs. That's my most common thing. So make sure you're drawing back with the ribs a little bit, drawing the low ribs down towards your hips, giving yourself that support there. Broaden the shoulder blades, good. And then bring the hands down either to the floor or to a block. And stretch the legs, let the head and neck go. Feeling your feet pressing into the floor, noticing the strength of your legs here. Bend your knees and come back up to standing. Okay, we're going to go again. Bending the knees, shifting back with the hips. This time, if it's comfortable, lift your left heel up off the floor. If you'd like to, you could play with balancing on the right foot. You don't have to do that. And then let's put that foot down. Now keeping the left leg down, play with coming up onto the ball of the right foot. And you could work on balance with the toe on the floor. If you're interested in trying to lift it up, see how that feels, noticing and protecting the knee of the standing leg. Put your foot back down on the floor. Come back into your chair pose. And just notice, how does that feel? Good, and bending forward. If it feels good, begin to push into the floor with the feet. Don't do anything that feels inappropriate for your body. If it feels comfortable to lengthen the legs, go for it. Bend the knees and come back up to standing. Check in. How are your knees feeling? If the knees are not comfortable, don't go as deep into chair pose. Chair pose can be a shallower chair pose, or it can be a deeper chair pose. Listen to what your body tells you is comfortable and appropriate. We're going to do a couple more of them, so definitely listen to your own body, or Nellie will give you guilty eyes. Aww. Okay, so next we're going to work on chair pose with a twist. So planting your feet on the floor, hip width apart if that's comfortable, and pointing forward if that's comfortable. Now some of us have like an injury or something going on and we know we should have our foot turned out, so listen to your body. But let's come back into chair pose. Good. And now I'm going to be moving from the very base of my spine. So my left hip and knee are going to come slightly forward as I rotate my navel towards the right. I'm then going to bring my left hand to the outside of my right thigh and push my right thigh into my left hand. And then if I want to, I could extend that right arm up towards the ceiling. Or I could put the hand on the hip. Make a choice that feels good for your shoulder. Feel the strength of your legs. Good. And then we're going to slowly unwind back to center and straighten the legs. Notice. How are your legs feeling? Your thigh bones are the heaviest bones in your body. Femurs. They're our pedestal. Okay, let's bend our knees and shift back with those femurs. Feel the support of that big heavy skeletal bone, that bone. And now we're going to move again, this time from our right hip. And our right pelvis and knee are going to come forward. And then I'm going to bring my right hand to the left thigh, and I'm going to push my thigh into that hand a little bit. And I can take that arm up if I want to, or have the hand on the hip. And I'm going to broaden my shoulder blades, and I'm going to feel that while my legs support me, I can really soften my shoulders and open my chest. I've got the support of these strong legs. I'm going to come back to center and straighten my legs. And notice how that feels. Broaden out across the balls of the feet. Good. Okay, we're going to use the chair now. It doesn't have to be a folding chair. It can be any old kind of chair. First thing we're going to do with the chair, you're going to bring your hands onto the seat of the chair and walk your feet back so that they're approximately beneath the hips, so your spine feels comfortably lengthened. Broaden the shoulder blades away from each other and keep the low ribs from hammocking towards the floor by slightly drawing them back towards the hips. Okay, now if it's comfortable for you, lift one leg up, flexing that foot. I look back and see if my toes are towards the floor. And I can actually sometimes use this hand to check in. Are my hips even? And then I'm using the chair here, playing with the balance, and I'm feeling that ball of my right foot broaden and support me. And then I'm going to bring that left leg down. And I'm going to broaden across the balls of my feet and lift with my front and inner thighs. And then I'm going to lift that right leg up off the floor. And again, I'm going to check in. I've got the support of the chair, so I can check in, make sure that my right toes are facing the floor. My ribs are staying drawn in towards my body. Are my hips somewhat even? Good. And then we're going to bring that leg down. Good. And then bring your hands down. Let your head and neck go. Bend your knees. Come on up. Okay. I'm going to have the chair now by my side, just to be able to use it like a wall for balance. I guess I'll have it on this side. Now what I'm going to do here is come into a chair pose. And again, my chair pose can be a shallower chair or a deeper chair. You have discretion. Move at your pace, right? Listen to your body. And I'm feeling again this strong pedestal of my legs, these big bones, these strong muscles of my legs supporting me. And while this right knee stays right where it is, it's not going to move around, hopefully, too much. I'm going to take that left foot up off the floor and move it back into a lunge. Then I'm going to bring it back into chair. If that felt good for your body, we'll try doing that a few times more. If that doesn't feel good for your body, the option is to work on lifting the left foot up off the floor and balancing in that way, using the chair for support. If you're doing the lunge, we'll bring the leg back and back to chair, and back to chair. Second side. Keeping the left leg forward, I'm going to lift up my right leg and move it back into a lunge. I'm trying to keep everything else very neutral. My legs are supporting me. And then I'm going to bring that right leg forward again into chair. And then I'm going to keep my left leg very neutral and bring it back into lunge. And then I'm bringing my right leg back to neutral. And then one more time, I'm taking my right leg back to lunge. And then I'm going to bring my right leg back to neutral. And then I'm going to straighten my legs. And I'm going to come back and make my way into dog pose, or into child's pose. Notice yourself breathing in the back of your chest. Good. We've got one more thing we're going to do with that chair pose, and then we're going to start to wind down. Again, this is just an option. Feel free to skip it. And feel free to have a chair handy for an option. If you'd like to, we're going to try and move from chair pose to warrior three and back to chair. Again, I want you to feel your legs bearing a lot of weight here. Draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Good. And then if it feels comfortable, begin to lift the left foot up off the floor. And then we're going to hinge forward at the hips And stretch back with the left leg as we push down with the right leg. And see, I got a chair handy. I'm lengthening back through my heel. I'm pressing down through that right leg. Good. And then put that left leg back down on the floor. And we're going to do the same thing on the second side. Pressing down with that left leg. I'm lifting up my right foot. Oh gosh. I'm hinging forward on the left leg. This is why I don't normally demonstrate on the left side in class. Pressing back through that right heel. Pressing down through that left heel. Good, and then we're gonna bend that left knee, put the right foot back down, straighten that leg. That was fun. Then we're gonna move the chair out of the way, hallelujah. And come down to seated. Start to wind down. Sit in any comfortable position for your hips. I'm going to take my right leg and cross my right knee so that my right ankle is over my left knee. My right knee is over my left ankle. For a lot of people, that's not comfortable. So really, any comfortable position with any support of pillows and blankets that you would like. Once you are in a comfortable seated position, bring your arms out to cactus position if that feels okay for you. Now, you'll notice my elbows aren't straight out to the side here. When my elbows are straight out to the side, it actually really engages my upper trapezius muscles. So for me, I have my elbows slightly forward of the line of my shoulders. So anyway, we're going to have our arms out in cactus pose. And we're going to bring the fingertips together and bring them apart. And try doing this a few times. And bring the fingers together and draw them apart. And one more time, bring the fingers together and draw them apart. And then bring your arms down and just feel again the strength of your legs and feel your pelvis settling down onto the strength of your legs. And from that base of support, lengthen up through the spine. Good. And now here you've got a couple of options. If you're someone who just loves and relishes coming forward in a hip stretch, you know what to do. Come forward in your hip stretch and hold. For those of us who don't love that and really feel a lot sitting upright, put your hands on your belly if that is comfortable. If not, just bring your attention to your belly. And we're going to inhale and see if you can feel your belly moving forward. And exhale and just see if you feel your belly slightly moving back. And just notice. Okay. And now, for those of you who relish the forward bends, come on up. And we'll switch the crossing of your legs if your legs are crossed. And on the second side, again, we'll bring our arms into cactus. And this time we're going to move our arms in a different position. So we're going to move our arms from cactus to what I call robot arms. It's where your elbows are straight out in front of your shoulders. So your arms are kind of bent at a right angle here. And then as much as possible, we're going to lift our elbows without letting the elbows splay out or the hands come together or the low ribs pop forward. And then we're going to bring the elbows down and we're going to open the arms out, keeping that sense of openness through the shoulder blades. And then go ahead and bring the arms slowly together and just feel that. Notice what that's like for your body. And lift up the elbows. And then bring the arms down. And open them out. And we're going to do just one more of these. Bring the arms together. Lift up. Bring the arms down. Open out. And bring your arms down. And again, decide if you want to come into a relishing forward bend, or if you want to work into moving with the breath, putting the hands on the belly, or not. You could have just the attention on the belly. And noticing that the inhalation begins when the belly moves forward, and that the belly moving back initiates the exhalation. Keep breathing. Okay, and for those of you in your relishing forward bend, come on up. And we're going to just come onto our hands and our knees. And you could always come onto a knuckle or a forearm here if that hurts your wrist. Take your left arm, bring it underneath your body, bending your right elbow. And let yourself twist here. If you'd like to put something beneath your head, feel free to do so. Then we're going to push into this right arm. Come on up. Then we're going to take our right arm, bring it underneath our body, bending that left elbow. And pushing into that left arm, come on up. Come back into your child's pose. And then let's come onto our back. And bringing your knees into your chest, begin to roll your self around on the back of your pelvis, using your hands on your knees to support your low back. I'm rolling around the edge of my sacrum. And then I'm going to go in the opposite direction. Good. And now bringing yourself back to center, we're going to come into our final relaxation pose. Classically, Shavasana is what I call the gingerbread man, when your arms and legs are kind of out to the side and you're here on your cookie sheet. But if you prefer a different variation with props beneath your knees and thighs to support your low back or your head, please do so. Whatever position you choose for Shavasana, begin to notice your body here. And notice the support that your body is feeling from whatever you are lying on. That might be blankets, that might be your mat. but your body is receiving the support of gravity. And notice as you inhale, the fact that the chest begins to open. There's a little bit of a broadening of the space between your ribs. And then when you exhale, your chest softens a little bit. The ribs come closer together. And just see if you can sense that pattern moving through your body. Just noticing if you can feel every cell, every muscle, just feeling a little more open when you inhale. And just getting a little softer, a little more relaxed when you exhale. Okay, gently bringing your attention back to your body, your breathing. Bringing a gentle movement to your fingers and your toes. Bend your knees, roll onto one side. Use your hands on the floor and push yourself back up to seated. Hey Nellie, come here. It's gonna be okay, girl. It's gonna be okay. Okay, thanks for practicing. Namaste.